Hello. In this video, we'll explain how to measure your high school wrestler's body composition using the BodyMetrix ultrasound to ensure accurate and consistent results. The first thing you'll want to do is create a profile for your student athlete. Click on the Create New Profile icon and enter first name, last name, an optional email address, and birth date. Next, select your unit of measurement, pounds and inches or kilograms and centimeters. Then you'll enter the weight and height and select the appropriate gender. There are two athletic type selections, default and lean. Select lean for those athletes who visually display no excess abdominal fat and have some clear muscle definition. For example, those who appear ripped or have six-pack abs. Choose the default setting for all other wrestlers who visually appear to have more excess abdominal fat and do not appear ripped or lean. Next, you can associate a wrestler with a group by clicking on the drop-down menu, selecting New Group, and typing in the name of the group, perhaps a particular weight class, ranking, or section. You can even include an initial visit note if you wish. Next, click on the Save Profile button and you're ready to measure your wrestler's body composition. The high school wrestling formula is the default formula in the drop-down menu, and the measurement sites are the tricep, scapula, and waist. Apply about a dime-sized amount of gel to the head of the BodyMetrix device, and without pressing the button, spread the gel at the tricep site point shown on the illustration, about 2 inches in diameter to ensure it slides smoothly on the skin. Click the Measure Point button and position the device flush and perpendicular on the skin surface using firm pressure. Press the button on the BodyMetrix device and slide the device up and down through the site point 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 an inch above and below the site for 3 to 4 seconds and then let go of the button. This movement technique is known as averaging, which produces clearly defined characteristic peaks we see here in the ultrasound signal graph. The first dominant peak represents the fat muscle border or interface, and the yellow region is the actual fat thickness we're measuring. You'll repeat the same process and take a second measurement. The BodyMetrix requires a minimum of 2 measurements, but you may be prompted for more if the software detects variation or the angle of the device is not flush and perpendicular at the site point. The fat thickness value is then displayed here. You'll automatically be directed to the next measurement point, which is the scapula. You may need to add a little bit more gel to the device and then repeat the same steps, spreading the gel at the scapula side point, then pressing the button and moving the device side to side 3 to 4 seconds. Remember, your optimal area is about 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 an inch on either side of the site, flush and perpendicular on the skin. Again, we see the first dominant peak representing our fat thickness was chosen by the software, and we'll take a second measurement and see the fat thickness value displayed. When we measure the waist or abdomen, we also want to use a side-to-side movement at the site point, which is located 1 inch to the right of the belly button or umbilicus. We'll take our first measurement using the same technique as before, and slide the device back and forth over our optimal area for 3 to 4 seconds and let go of the button. Then repeat the measurement. Once the measurement is completed, the percent body fat is automatically calculated and displayed, along with the minimum wrestling weight. It's important to understand how the athletic type settings you choose for your wrestler influence the software when measuring the waist or abdomen. If you designate a wrestler's athletic type as lean, the software will typically select the first dominant peak in the ultrasound signal graph, as we see here. This makes sense as most lean individuals have fat thickness depths between 0 to 10 millimeters, seen here on the x-axis of the graph. Let's assume that in this example, you mistakenly chose the default athletic type for the wrestler's profile. The default athletic type causes the software to predict the second, deeper dominant peak rather than the first, shown here at 24 millimeters. Interestingly, if we double the waist measurement value, it gives us the approximate size of the fold of fat at 48 millimeters, which is nearly 2 inches. In this case, it's clear that our wrestler doesn't have a 2-inch fold of fat and clearly lean in the abdomen. Knowing this, you can manually override this reading by clicking on the apex of the first peak and then accepting the appropriate value by clicking OK. So please be sure to analyze your waist measurement signal to ensure the proper peak was selected. If you made a mistake and you need to change the athletic type, click on Profile at the top left, select Modify Profile, and make your changes. BMR is automatically calculated, and a breakdown of weight distribution shows fat mass, fat-free mass, and estimated water. You can even add a measurement note if you like. In the Trends tab, we can see progress or regression trends over time, including percent body fat and weight in the top graph, and sight point thickness values in the lower graph. Once you accumulate more assessment data, you can manipulate the ranges and look at last month's or last year's data. Clicking on the Show Data button lets you view raw numeric statistics, along with average weight and percent body fat. This data can easily be saved to a file by clicking on the Save Data to File button. The Scan feature can be a valuable tool to visualize both fat and muscle thicknesses at targeted areas. For a detailed overview, please refer to the Introduction to Scans video by clicking on the Help menu, navigating to the How-To video field, and scrolling down. The BodyMetrix features a demonstration mode option, which can be useful for practicing without creating an actual profile. From the home page, click on the Play button, which gives you access to all the criteria you need to perform an assessment. The fastest way to change the age is to highlight and type in the age, then tab down and type in weight and height. Select the gender and the athletic type. You may also use the toggle arrows to change the age or the numeric calculator. When you're finished, click Continue and you're ready to measure. Once you've completed your measurements, you can quickly move on to the next assessment by clicking on the New Measurement button and entering the data, just like before. In this example, we have a female wrestler, so once you finish your entries, click Continue and you're ready to test. We want to thank you for choosing BodyMetrix and wish you and your team much success. Thank you.